My name is Dr. Daniel Blackroyd, PhD, and I am an expert on the expanding Earth theory. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. We have the expanding Earth theory, which is the main one that we're going to focus on today. Then we have the hollow Earth theory, which is also very interesting, but it is not as popular as the other ones. After this, we will look at the scientific evidence for the expanding Earth theory, and then finally, I will show you some simple experiments that you can do at home to prove that the Earth is indeed expanding. Before we start, please make sure to hit the like button. It really helps us grow and reach more people. Let's jump right into it. Next up, let's talk about the heliocentric Earth theory. This theory is also known as the wobbly Earth theory, and it is the theory that the Earth is at the center of the universe and everything in the universe revolves around the Earth. This theory is also just as wrong as the flat Earth theory. There is zero evidence to support this theory. In fact, there is overwhelming evidence against it. For example, we know that the Earth revolves around the Sun. This is a fact. If the Earth was truly at the center of the universe, it wouldn't be revolving around the Sun. It would be revolving around its own axis. But we know that's not the case. Also, if the Earth was truly at the center of the universe, everything in the universe would be much harder to explain. For example, why would the sun rise in the east and set in the west? If the Earth was truly at the center of the universe, the sun would rise and set in the north and south. There are many other examples like this, but you get the point. The heliocentric Earth theory is just as wrong as the flat Earth theory. Now, let's talk about the expanding Earth theory. This theory is also known as the growing Earth theory, and it is the theory that the Earth is constantly expanding. This theory is supported by a lot of evidence, and I will show you some of that evidence later in this video. But first, let me explain how this theory works. So according to this theory, the Earth is constantly expanding, and it is doing so at a rate of about 2 centimeters per year. This means that every year, the Earth gets bigger by about 2 centimeters. Now, you might be thinking, if the Earth is getting bigger, then shouldn't we be able to feel that? And the answer is yes, we should be able to feel that. And we do feel it. In fact, that's how we know that the Earth is expanding. The Earth is expanding so slowly that we can't really notice it, but we can measure it with very sensitive instruments. One of the ways that we measure the expansion of the Earth is by using satellites. Satellites are basically just devices that we put into orbit around the Earth, and they are usually used for communication or for gathering information about the Earth. One of the things that satellites can do is measure the distance between themselves and the Earth, and by measuring this distance, we can get an idea of how far away from the Earth different points on the surface are. And when we compare these distances over time, we can see that the Earth is expanding. Another way that we measure the expansion of the Earth is by using lasers. We can set up 2 lasers on opposite sides of the Earth and then measure the time it takes for the light to travel from one laser to the other. When we do this, we find that the time it takes for the light to travel between the 2 lasers is always changing. And this is because the Earth is constantly expanding. As the Earth expands, the distance between the 2 lasers increases, which means that the light takes longer to travel between them. And by measuring these changes in time, we can get an idea of how fast the Earth is expanding. Okay, now let's talk about the evidence for the expanding Earth theory. Like I said before, there is a lot of evidence for this theory, and I will show you some of it here. First, let's look at this graph. This graph shows the rate of expansion of the Earth over time. As you can see, the rate of expansion has been increasing over time. This means that the Earth is expanding faster today than it did in the past. And this is significant because it shows that the expansion of the Earth is not just a random fluctuation. It is a real phenomenon that is getting worse. Next, let's look at this picture. This picture shows a map of the Earth with the areas that have been expanding the most in red. As you can see, the areas in red are mostly located near the equator. This is significant because it shows that the Earth is not expanding uniformly in all directions. It is expanding mostly in the equatorial region. Finally, let's look at this video. This video shows a simulation of what would happen if the Earth was expanding. As you can see, the simulation shows that the Earth would expand in the equatorial region and the poles would remain relatively stable. This is significant because it matches what we observe in real life. The Earth is expanding in the equatorial region and the poles are remaining relatively stable. All of this evidence points to one conclusion. The Earth is expanding and it is doing so at an increasing rate. But why is the Earth expanding? Well, that's a question that scientists don't really have an answer for. There are some theories, but nothing has been confirmed. One possibility is that the expansion of the Earth is due to an increase in the temperature of the Earth's core. If the temperature of the Earth's core increases, then the rocks and minerals that make up the core would expand in volume, which could cause the Earth to expand. Another possibility is that the expansion of the Earth is due to an increase in the pressure of the Earth's core. If the pressure of the Earth's core increases, then the rocks and minerals that make up the core would be forced to expand in volume, which could cause the Earth to expand. Finally, it is possible that the expansion of the Earth is due to some unknown process that is happening in the Earth's core. Scientists are still trying to figure out what could be causing the Earth to expand, but until they do, we have to accept the fact that the Earth is expanding. Let me finish off by saying that the Earth is expanding. It is a fact. There is overwhelming evidence that the Earth is expanding. The Earth is not flat. The Earth is not revolving around its axis. The Earth is revolving around the Sun. The Earth is not a hollow sphere. The Earth is solid. The Earth is not stationary. The Earth is moving. If you don't believe me, then you can test it for yourself. You can use a simple experiment to see that the Earth is expanding. Here is an experiment that you can do at home to see the expansion of the Earth. You will need a long piece of string and a ruler. First, tie one end of the string to the North Pole and the other end to the South Pole. Then use the ruler to measure the length of the string. Do this several times, and you will find that the length of the string is always increasing. This is because the Earth is expanding. There are many other experiments that you can do to see the expansion of the Earth, but this is the simplest one. If you want to learn more about the expansion of the Earth, I encourage you to do your own research. You will find that there is a lot of evidence to support this theory. Thanks for watching. See you next time.